Hey guys, I'm Chris, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're reacting to Loki episode 3 breakdown, Easter egg, and details you may have missed. Now, in case you guys haven't been watching, which you should, it's been really good so far. The Loki series, I have watched all 3 episodes, so I am up to date on everything. But so far, it's probably been the best NC show released so far. I like WandaVision and Winter Soldier, especially in terms of just like creative view. A lot of people seem to love it, and personally, I think it's doing a wonderful job of Loki's character. Like I love just so many things the show they're doing with him, just from the character growth to like him using different magic and stuff. Like all this little stuff is so cool. So I want to react to this though because I know there was stuff I probably missed because it happens all the time. I always miss stuff in these videos. Whenever I watch something, I don't realize was there until like I see it online or something later. So today, so react to it just to see what I missed and see if you guys can get caught anything as well. But for getting to, if you guys like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share, guys. Helps the channel grow, helps the YouTube algorithm. Let me know that I'm here and that you know, and to put my channel on full view. So please do those things. If you guys enjoy, you want to do more, make sure to check out the link in the description to reveal. That's what's original channel. Go support them, and my social media will be down there as well. You guys can follow me there. You can request videos or even just to chat about certain things you want. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on the comment section. Where you guys think of your reaction, like you love your hater. Is there anything like details that you already knew was there, or are there even some details you think they didn't see? Let me know. But let's get into it.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of Loki Episode 3 Lamentis, in which Loki and Sylvie play a game of who is enchanting whom. Folks,
Yeah.
There's so much to break down from
Is it
huge reveals
incest
about
if
the
like
TVA
if you're
to
dating
Asgardian
you're
and
like
other alien
yourself?
languages to
That's just like an
translate,
alternate
maybe
Loki.
even huge portions of this episode that might be one of our variants trapping the other in an illusion? So let's loose the juice from our tempad and drop in. The episode opens in an illusion that the Loki variant Sylvie placed TVA hunter C20 under during the events of episode 2. So opening this episode in an illusion,
Yeah, the fact to learn that C was actually just a human.
Carefully, because notice how over the Marvel Studios title leading into this, we hear this music.
There's something in the water.
This is called Demons by Haley Kiyoko, which is fitting for the way Sylvie and Loki are called devils this episode.
You're no travelers. You're devils.
And the way Sylvie has been compared to a demon in stained glass. And the lyrics of the song refer to having demons in one's head and say there's something in the water, all reflecting how Sylvie is in C20's head using a reconstructed memory of fruity drinks to intoxicate.
See, I never knew this. I did not guess this.
Sylvie reveals that this particular memory from C20 was from hundreds of years prior, from C20's past as a human on Earth before she became a variant, confirming the theory that I shared in last week's Miss Minutes video that all TVA employees are variants with memories wiped and forced into servitude by the timekeepers, which poses all kinds of implications, like perhaps Mobius was a jet ski salesman in his past life, maybe
Bro, that
from
could be
San Diego,
true.
judging from that
Oh my
smoke
God.
globe in Renslayer's office that Mobius didn't.
Sorry, I know I'm not reading to real, but like it's funny because I had that same thought that I did think when they said that, because in the actual comic book it is, I believe it is like they did really create everybody in a time variant, but the way they're doing it different now with them like not knowing like that I can't even begin to think like how that's gonna like how the show's gonna end just with that, because when Loki told he doesn't know, my thought was like Loki's probably gonna just they try to like break them out so that way they can like turn them against the timekeepers, because the timekeepers they sounded sus the moment the whole story drop oh they created this sacred timeline and all this bullshit. I'm like, nah bro, something's fishy here. So I love the fact that, you know, it turns out that they've been lying to him.
That could have been his precious relic that was kept in evidence. Also, maybe Renslayer could have been a teacher or a principal at Franklin D. Roosevelt High School that pen was from. But this also explains why C20 was so...
See, I didn't even notice the pen.
It was real after coming out of her enchantment.
Bro, see, again.
Life weren't just fantastical dreams, but subconscious memories of real events. Remember, B-15 also looked shaken. I suspect she too could have been linked with her past life. Now, the opening shot of the episode is the this tropical themed mug of a head, half drained, reflecting the way C20's mind is being drained by Sylvie in this moment. They discuss brain freezes, but only C20 gets one. Maybe Sylvie doesn't get one because Loki variants are technically frost giants. They're not affected by cold. But check out that patron in the background on the right. Looks a bit like Pietro Maximoff. I mean, I only mention it because Sylvie's enchantment works similar to Wanda's Hex reality, which also featured an alternate reality Pietro in it. There's actually a lot of parallels. Like later when Sylvie screams in frustration, her green sorcery blasts out like a shockwave, similar to how Wanda's agonized scream created a shockwave. Just could be
but that could just be the use of magic.
Could be potential Nexus beings with capabilities of setting the terms of a single reality, similar to how Wanda can do that. And if you think about it, Wanda did create the Westview Hex out of grief over Vision's absence. And what does Loki say to Sylvie here?
You lack vision.
Lack vision?
Bro, that's crazy.
That moment C20 suspects
I didn't even think of that.
Reality, Sylvie switches it, jumping ahead suddenly to nighttime, similar to how whenever a glitch in the Matrix happened in Westview,
she would fix it,
suddenly edit past it and progress forward in time. In that case, a sitcom decade forward. Also, Sylvie grabs C20's wrist to get her to refocus on her after the switch, showing how physical contact is needed to form that neural link for the enchantment.
Yeah, what
now
she
the
said.
music is changed to Deep Blue by Ladytron, with lyrics foreshadowing the whole journey ahead for Sylvie on Lamentis 1, seeking a power station on a train out of town. Hey, by the way, included in our Loki-inspired merch is our latest augmented reality shirt, which, when viewed through an AR app, the God of Mischief comes alive.
That's
Folks
actually
have
pretty cool.
Have sent us some awesome videos. Really
actually,
grabbing merch like this is
I actually want to get that.
New Rockstars. So head on over to newrockstarsmerch.com, and when you get that Loki at a time shirt, you get an option to write in a custom shout out in our Inside Marvel after show. Sylvie infiltrates the TVA, passing this poster that reads, "The timeline is only as strong as its weakest moment," with his agent all tangled up in the timeline. Ironic considering this is exactly what Sylvie has just done to the TVA. But notice that TVA cop scream as Sylvie erases him.
Once the pandemic.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, his wail is digitally filtered, actually similar to the sound of Neo's scream that moment he got unplugged in Matrix. And that may be what Sylvie is doing here, unplugging these mind slaves and restoring them to their natural states, which might be why it seems to bring her so much satisfaction to do it. Loki snatches Sylvie's tempad and depletes its juice, leaving them marooned on Lamentis 1 in the year 2077, as another planet is about to collide with it, Melancholia style. Actually, kind of
that would make so much sense.
The moon and threw it at Titan. But Lamentis is actually in the comics. It's an outworld planet on the edge of Kree space. It's from the Annihilation Prologue issue, which features the destruction of Xandar. Now, 2077 would be about 6 decades after Xandar's off-screen destruction by Thanos prior to Infinity War. So perhaps we're now seeing the aftermath of the Nova Corps' inability to protect Xandar's colonies. Here, Lamentis 1 is a mining colony, I think based on LV-426 and Aliens, which we know was a reference for this episode based on the guards being named Private Hudson and Corporal Hicks, which are Bill Paxton and Michael Bihn's characters.
See,
so
I never known this, man.
Magic flickers out on his head the way it did with the TVA.
What's he doing?
Because it's Loki, like.
Yeah, Sylvie's reaction makes me think Loki in this moment might have tried to rebound the spell and enchant her. From this moment on, it's not really clear if either have been enchanted, but it is weird that the meteor shower outside subsides after this, despite this oncoming planet coming closer. On the walk, they bicker.
Don't call me variant.
I'm sorry about not calling some faded photocopy of me Loki.
Good, because that's not who I am anymore. I'm Sylvie now.
I'm Sylvie.
Oh, you changed your name. Brilliant.
It's called an alias.
This confirms that Sylvie did begin a Loki variant, but due to Loki's sex fluidity, just takes a female form. But the name Sylvie was an alias that she chose. So despite using the term enchant a lot, she's not exactly Sylvie Lushton Enchantress from the comics, but really a new character inspired by both Lady Loki and Enchantress. And they enter this town that is covered with alien lettering, which from what I can tell matches neither the Skrull language written on Rocket Scanner and Guardians of the Galaxy, nor
so it's a
the
whole different race then?
alphabet, making me wonder if this could be Xandarian, but we don't really have a way to translate, but that won't stop me, folks! So look at the structure that Sylvie walks up to, trying to trick Loki and handing over the tempad to charge it. That top word has 6 characters, and using the substitution decoding process I used for the Riddler cipher in the Batman trailer, you always start by looking for repeating symbols, and some do repeat. The 2nd and the 4th are the same letter, and the 3rd and the 5th are another letter. So we're looking at a sequence of 1, 23234. So then you got to do some guesswork based on really whatever the most commonly used letters tend to be in combinations with each other. I'm wondering if those could be RERE, and the word could be prereq for pre-requirements, and all those names in red on the side being the names of colonists given priority status for evacuation, which is why this building would be the one building left in town with the lights on. This is what I do with my time. So Sylvie kicks open the door to the trailer only to be blasted with a gun.
One of the best moments in the show. That was
Like a
hilarious.
recreation of that moment, the bride tried to get the drop on Bud in Kill Bill Volume 2.
All these. Damn.
Inside, Loki notices the woman's framed photo with her husband. Kind of looks like a nod to Grant Wood's American Gothic, but common misconception, that does not depict a married couple, but a farmer and his daughter. Kind of similar to how Loki and Hela are step siblings in the MCU, but in Norse mythology, Hela is Loki's daughter. So at the train station is a line of angry colonists trying to evacuate, including some kids, and you know what that means, camera, lens, eye contact. But further back in the line, there are these two guys that appear to be twins, which could be another interesting Matrix parallel. Because in that woman in the red dress scene, the Wachowskis populated the extras that bumped into Neo with twins. Twins! Really as a way to evoke this dreamlike simulation. This could be another possible clue that this may be Loki or Sylvie having enchanted the other in an illusion. But real quick, I want to do a Loki and change my
But okay, so I mean that makes sense. Again, like that's why I love these guys, because I never thought anything connected to the Matrix. I haven't. I didn't think anything was connected to the Matrix. But if that's true, like how powerful is the illusion? Because like Loki didn't know the spell, and she couldn't do it. So is that? But she did. But she said in order to control a strong one, she had to create like a subconscious like dream of like a peaceful place or something. So we don't see this. So I don't know if they're really like if they're I don't know if I really believe they're one of those are channeling each other. I can see that by the way he's explaining, but I just don't know. Like I don't know. I feel like it's not. I feel like they're not, because during the end of the episode, I really felt like they were kind of really were there and they really working together. But I can't ignore what he's saying though about it. I mean, it would make sense, but again, how would Loki learn the spell? Like he didn't know, and Soviet said like she said that in order to possess like really strong people. Oh, but wait, she did say that in order for strong people, it's different because it's more like she's controlling them, but they're still there. So what if she is controlling Loki, but he's still there, so he still think he's doing all this on his own, bro? That would make so much sense. I just got it, guys. I got it. Big brain moment for me. Don't ruin it for me.
shirt. But before we continue, thanks to Displate for sponsoring this video. Displate makes high quality art prints on metal. They have over
Display is awesome.
great artist designs, including many from the worlds of gaming. Discount up to train is a bit similar to Snowpiercer, in which he uses a train as kind of a Marxist allegory, in which the rich get luxury cars at the front, but that capitalist engine ultimately serves no one, similar to how this train leads to no one's escape from destruction. Now, Loki has to sit in the backwards facing seat on the train. Trains also feature prominently in the movie Inception, where in the opening sequence, Nash and Arthur sit in a train car backwards facing the Mark, Saito, who was actually trapped in their false reality. I mean, I just find it interesting that they called attention to the seating like this, and after some indeterminate amount of time, Sylvie wakes up confused, now facing the opposite direction in the frame, and this was after Loki had asked her earlier,
How long do we have?
12 hours or so.
and now Sylvie refers to her memory as
Just blips of a dream at this point.
Now, Sylvie learned earlier than Loki did in her timeline that she was
Wait,
adopted and had
so-
to teach herself magic, making me think that her mother figure from her timeline might not have been Frigga. On one event report that Loki read in episode 2, the name Sylvie Laufey-Daughter appeared, the surname being instead of Laufey's son of Laufey, daughter of Laufey. So I wonder if perhaps Sylvie's maternal figure could have been Hela, who in her timeline might have accompanied Odin in that battle against the Frost Giants, in which Laufey's offspring was taken as a ward, and that Hela could have left an impression on Sylvie, maybe even given her that sword before Hela was banished by
That would make
Sylvie
sense.
also reveals having a lover.
Managed to maintain quite a serious long-distance relationship with a postman whilst running across time from one apocalypse to another.
She could be referring to Stan Lee, who did appear as a famous celebrity driver in Civil War and then bragged about about that to the Watchers in Guardians Volume 2.
You get it,
By the way,
Stan.
he also cameoed in the 2005 Fantastic Four film as a mailman. Some are also saying it could be that delivery driver in Westview. But Postman reminds me of the song Nick Fury used to inspire the name Captain Marvel.
Marvel sounds a lot better, you know, like the Marvelettes. Wait, oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Fury would be an interesting pairing for Sylvie, but why not the person who ended up taking that name, Carol Danvers? Because Loki reveals himself as bisexual.
A bit of both. I suspect the
Which
same
I'm still on the
as you.
fence about, but we're not gonna talk
Really
about
argue
that.
with that. And Carol would have been a superpowered galaxy hopper whose whereabouts were unknown from 1995 to 2018. So Sylvie wakes up to find Loki singing. Now, according to the captions, this is an Asgardian, making this the first time we've heard Asgardian as a language in the MCU.
Yeah.
No, it's really Norwegian. His lyrics translate to, "In stormy black mountains, I wander alone. Over the iceberg, I pull myself forth. In the apple garden stands the maiden fair, and I sing, 'When will you come home?'" Loki, drunk, calls back Thor's move in the first Thor film.
Another.
Sorry about all these cuss guys, but only happen when an ad or something pops up.
And he tells Sylvie that he's not drunk, just full, which is anher in-joke because in Norwegian, to be full means to be drunk.
Ah,
So we
okay.
Chat about what love is.
Love is a dagger, but ultimately, when you reach for it,
It isn't real.
Recalling the famous soliloquy in Shakespeare's Macbeth, when Macbeth hallucinates an imaginary dagger. Perhaps here, the dagger is a symbol of Loki's betrayal of Sylvie, with everything through being a kind of dagger of Loki's enchantment. Now, during the brawl, notice how Sylvie uses her crown as a weapon. This is a move that Loki did in Thor Ragnarok. And as Sylvie pulls her sword out of the bar, you can barely make out some writing on it. They look like Viking runes, similar to the ones that are carved into Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. In this case, they're
So
kinda
there's-
hard
so
to
she's been
translate,
enchanted?
but to me, it looks like TH, and then HS.
I don't know.
And then maybe SUPN. I don't know. There's like a dozen different Norse rune alphabets out there, and I haven't been able to line up any of these perfectly. I like how when Loki hits the ground outside the train, he makes the same plank pose that he did when hitting the sanctum floor after falling for 30 minutes in Ragnarok. And then he reveals the tempad, but it is broken. Though, again, perhaps what we are looking at here is just part
It's
of
a
the illusion
fake.
by Loki to manipulate Sylvie into revealing exactly how her enchantment works. Because only now does Sylvie finally reveal that she mind controls by reconstructing memories. And she also reveals to Loki that the TVA are actually memory wiped variants, which are big things that Loki has gained through this experience, which then leads to this seemingly impossible long take through the collapsing city of Sharu. Now, at first glance, this awesome looking sequence appears to be a
It is really
3-minute
awesome.
unbroken long take, but like many long takes in movie and film, it is actually several shots stitched together with hidden cuts if you look closely. Shot 1, Loki and Sylvie enter through the tunnel. Loki steps on a barrier to see the gates closing, and then the camera pans as two runners pass the frame. Cut on the pan there to shot 2. Following the two of them down the alley, camera orbits them a few times, and then crane up on a VFX shot of that colliding planet cracking in half, and then a meteor striking a nearby building, flashing the frame. Cut there. Now on to shot 3 of them as they duck from debris and run towards an explosion that blows
This
them
is
back.
this is
tilting the
never
camera
stuff I'm
into
looking
the
at
blue
when I'm
smoke.
watching
Cut
the show.
there to shot 4, where the camera tilts back up with Loki's rise, and then they run into that cafe and they confront some guards. I think there were some cuts hidden in there on the stunts, but definitely a cut when the camera passes a beam onto shot 5 as they run and have their way cut off, and they take cover. They follow another running woman back to that same building that collapses. Crane up on a VFX shot of that collapse. Cut there to shot 6, where they run and Loki freezes that tower from crushing them, reverses it back up, and then right after,
Which
as
was so
Loki runs
dope.
right with the whip pan, there's a really hard to spot cut there. Notice Loki's body from 2 different shots are layered on top of each other, barely overlapping, leading to shot 7, where Loki and Sylvie fight off the last of the guards at the gate, only to see the Ark get destroyed by meteors. As Loki's charm foreshadowed, we got some fireworks. Now, notice that in their last moves, Loki and Sylvie do these same leg sweeps ghosts on the guards mirror images of each other. Some are saying that Loki might have used a stolen time stone to stop and reverse that tower
Yeah.
collapse. But after Loki used telekinesis to summon that Roomba, I later realized that we've also seen Loki use telekinesis to throw over all the furniture in that prison cell in the Dark World. So this is something that he can do. Also,
We never
that
seen
time
something
stone
that heavy, though.
if Lamentus 1 in 2077 is that exact prune timeline that time stone was taken from. And since Sylvie created the whole bunch of branches with her bombing, I just think it would be really hard for Loki to think ahead so perfectly. Also, I'm pretty sure we heard that time stone clunk back in the drawer. Really, if Loki had a functional time stone here, he would have used it in dozens of ways. But
Yeah.
I still believe it is possible that for all of these events on Lamentus 1, or at least part of Sylvie after waking up the train at some point, could be part of Loki's enchantment on her.
But how did he
Sylvie's
learn? Because
trust to learn
he
what
said he
knew
couldn't do
about the
enchantment, so was he
community
just
that he could
lying?
Turn her in and get back in their good graces.
Which would make
Whether
sense.
or not that's the case, not being quite sure if we're under Loki's enchantment at any given moment is what makes the show so enchanting. The
Yep.
sequence has been updated with photos of Loki and Sylvie together, evoking how Loki called her a poor photocopy of him. Here, both are black and white photocopies, all while Bonnie Guitar's Dark Moon plays, with the lyrics paralleling the way Loki and
All
Sylvie's
these references to
was cut
songs.
off by a dark moon. Or it was a planet. It looked like a moon, but they called it a planet. Anyway, support this channel by checking out our new Loki-inspired merch options, especially that Loki Out of Time shirt at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter.
Alright, guys. Alright, guys, last cut. Alright, guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. That was really, really interesting. I gotta say, that was really, really. I like a lot of the, like I said, a lot of the details that he put on. Like when I was about to show, I was not making connections to Matrix or Insidious or Inception, which are, even though those two are my favorite movies that I've ever watched. So I did that many connections, just all the little stuff. But the thing that he said, Loki had him under enchantment. Now we know Loki can do it in music, but Loki said himself that he couldn't enchant people, like he didn't know how to. That's why he asked her. So I don't know, cause for him to be able to enhance it, does that mean like was he try to do it? That was he able to like maybe learning her mind and bounce it back? Like, I don't know if I fully believe yet that he actually enhanced, because I just don't know if he has to be able to do it. I don't know if he has to be able to do it. I don't think he does. Maybe I'm not giving Loki enough credit, because he's, like I said, he know how to enhance. It seems to be an ability only Sylvie could do, because Loki has never shown the ability to do what she do. So it's like, and then he never used it before. So I'm just like, I don't know. Like I said, like that is what makes it so great. The fact you never know if we're really under a spell or something, or if he's really telling the truth. We never know with Loki, because it's Loki. So and that's the whole thing that makes it great, because we don't know, like, is he lying? Is this all just an illusion? Is he just playing Sophie, or is Sophie just playing Loki? Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know, guys. But let me know your thoughts on, guys. What are your opinions? What do you think is going on? What do you think? Is Loki chancing her? Is she enchanting Loki? Or like near one of them really a chance? Like, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions down below. Were there any Easter egg or details that you might find that they missed? Let me know down below as well. Make sure also, if you guys enjoyed the video, to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Help the channel to grow. Help me get more recognized on the YouTube algorithm. So please do that. If you guys enjoy, if you didn't, whatever. Make sure to check out Luminous Crystal Reveal, as well as the research channel and my social media down below description as well. But as I cracks, I'm out. Peace.